topic, of course, itself says today what we're talking about. This is everything that Reliance has announced about their Jio services. And the first thing we'd like to say straight off the bat is the fact that every other service provider is probably going to rethink their strategy right now, simply because, well, they have announced a lot of datagiri that they are going to do, as we heard from the event itself. So that is something. And I have with me Prasid, and what you are going to see is a bunch of slideshows which we are talking about everything that Reliance has announced. As you can see right here on your screens, you see data is the oxygen of digital life. We need digital tools and skills. Data demand is growing exponentially. Jio will meet these demands for India. Jio will realize the Digit India vision. We did do a Facebook Live earlier on showing you the Jio Wi-Fi box, its data speeds, and also let's quickly go through what Jio announced today.
Okay, so these are the plans that Reliance Jio is going to offer. It starts at 149. Mukesh Ambani made it pretty clear that you will never pay for voice and messages. So all calls and text messages will be free unless they are done over data. So understand that things like Viber and WhatsApp will cost you, but regular text messages will not cost you. And the data plan, if you can go to that other slide, which
This is the one that's live. This is the one that's live. This is a preview.
Oh yeah, okay. So so for 149 rupees, you basically get a lot of data. What Reliance Jio is offering here
only 0.3 GB of 4G data.
Yeah, but 0.3 GB, that means 300 MB of 4G data, which on Airtel right now, I think it costs you about 250 or 200 bucks.
So we can safely establish that it's probably the cheapest 4G that you're going to get.
Yeah, definitely. What's actually more interesting is where what Mukesh Ambani said, the more data you use, the cheaper it will be. So if you look at these, the more expensive plans like the 1500 rupees, the 2500 rupee plans, these are actually quite good. Because for 1500 on many other networks, you get about 5 to 7 GB of data. Jio is giving you 20 GB of 4G data, and then you will have your Jio apps, just like Airtel has free services on Wink. Jio will have on its various Jio apps that it's launching. So
also another thing, since you spoke about the 1500 one, I'm seeing you're getting 20 GB of 4G data plus unlimited 4G at night. Currently, I pay 1500 rupees overall on Vodafone, and I get about 3 GB of 4G data plus a calls plan that I have catered to my requirements. So, personally, I'm also pretty tempted to switch.
My Airtel connection right now gives me about, in 1500, that is if I include an extra pack, I get about 6 GB of data on Airtel. So that's still less than half of what Jio is giving here. And you get the apps. If you're wondering what the Wi-Fi service is, Mukesh Ambani said they're going to announce they're going to install 1 million Wi-Fi hotspots across India. That's Jio hotspots. So you will get 70 GB, 40 GB of free data on this 1500 rupee plan.
Okay.
So yeah, it is a lot of data, and it is a data-driven network. Ambani, in fact, called it
Datagiri.
Datagiri, hashtag Datagiri, made for video network as well.
Okay, anybody?
How to activate voice calls in JioSIM. So Satvik, that will activate when the network is live. That is not active at the moment. What actually they announced? Wow, Pankaj, just go back to the live in a bit. You will understand.
To actually watch it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we change? Let's take a look at some other things that was announced today before we come back to the plans, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people will keep tuning in for the next 20 minutes as we do it. And this is one of my personal favorites, is 1 Gbps fiber router.
Yeah, so again, understand that a 1 Gbps fiber connection does not mean that that's what you're getting at your home. But it does mean that you can get a cheaper 100 Mbps connection, which is awesome.
Okay, so just again, giving personal plans, you can talk about yours also, since they are going to set up fiber lines across. Currently, I pay 3,333 rupees to Nextra, which by the way provides pathetic services. And they give me a 20 Mbps connection, which I never get 20 Mbps full speed, but that is what I pay. When I had Airtel, I was paying about 2,800 rupees for an 8 Mbps connection for the same 150 odd GB cap. So can we estimate or predict what this means for the average Joe sitting at home who needs that 100 GB, 200 GB of data?
So for that, essentially what Jio is saying is, use more data, I'll charge you less. So it does not matter whether it's on broadband or whether it's on Wi-Fi. I'm sure in future they will even come up with those bundled plans where if you have a Jio connection on your phone, you get extra stuff on your Wi-Fi as well. So essentially, no matter where you use data through Jio, you will be spending less than current norms. So you have currently, even the best service will give you a 16 to 20 Mbps connection. That's still not as big as, as good as what Geo is giving. At least on paper, the value seems really good. What's worth pointing out is that a lot of people have talked about how easily the connection is activated or deactivated. So, according to Mukesh Ambani, this the Reliance Jio connection will be activated instantly using Aadhaar over eKYC. So you can simply, activate the network online, which is again quite good, and it should be faster. But let's see how that works out. The question in my mind right now is that with such cheap plans, there will be a lot of people who will be moving to Jio. In fact, Amani himself said that he's given his teams a target of 100 million people. So, with so many people, we don't know what Jio's connection will then function as. But hey, it remains to be seen.
Okay, so these are some of the tariff plans, but we have more which are on the smaller scale. Should you want to talk about this for a minute?
So these are the even smaller plans that I think Adamya is working on the story, and she will actually, this will be even easier to understand when that story comes. So the rupees 19 pack is basically the equivalent of what you get in your those weekly packs and daily packs, is the equivalent of that. Although while it's not clear yet, I think all of these packs will not have the limited connections. Your So usually for a weekly pack, you have to use your data within a week or it expires. That most likely will not be there. But these are of course the cheaper packs which are meant for people who do not use a lot of data. But even for them, Jio is offering more than what you can generally get. Satyam wants to know what VoLTE is. Satyam, VoLTE is voice over LTE. Basically, it means making calls over an LTE network, and VoLTE is clearer than VoIP, which was on other IP networks. So it is clearer voice quality over the internet.
Yeah, so essentially, if your smartphone also needs LTE enabled, so there's no point in you just getting a SIM card which says VoLTE, and if your phone isn't enabled, so you got to make sure that your phone is also VoLTE enabled. So that's another thing
and let's
to keep
not
in
forget
mind.
that even though most of the things that Jio is doing is about data, it is a data first network. All your calls and text messages will be free for life, which is still a big deal. So for any Indian user who says that I don't use a lot of data, you essentially can almost get a connection for free.
Yeah. Another couple of things to touch upon that were announced is this one. No, RIP charges is what was announced. No more voice calling charges, no more roaming charges. One India. So, when you travel to another state, you get welcome to XYZ state, welcome to Haryana. If you're traveling, welcome to Maharashtra. And
you'll still be welcomed, but you won't be charged
have to
roaming in India.
And like we showed you the rates page, there is no more high data rates. So they are actually targeting people who, let's say, just want to try to get 3G, 4G connections on their phones, but are afraid because of data charges. So this was another thing that was announced that we wanted to just share with you guys.
Hardeep Singh, Facebook has a button to make it full screen. You just have to check it there. Okay, so another thing Sam just said is there are no blackout days. So no blackout days means if you've noticed, just before Diwali or Holi, your service provider sends you a message saying if you're going to text message tomorrow, it's not going to be free. You're going to you're going to be charged extra. That is exactly what Jio is not giving you. No more blackout days as well. So your text messages are going to be free for life. That's what Mukesh Ambani said.
Also, another question that pops in my mind, which a lot of normal people are not going to ask this question, is Reliance only has 4G spectrums that they've bought. They don't have 3G or 2G. So if you go into a city or a state or a village where they do not have their 4G datas, how are they going to still give their users network. Now that, of course, the plans and all are very good, but in those situations, will you have a smartphone with no cellular service at all just because Reliance is 2G, 3G net? How do you have any idea how that's going to work?
So we don't have a clear idea on that yet, but that's where the COAI comes in, and where all the controversy with Jio has happened. There are of course cross points across the network, so it's not just for calling other networks. I'm guessing Jio should have tie-ups elsewhere also, because they do have Wi-Fi boxes to offer for 2G and 3G services as well. So there's definitely something there, but once the network is live is when we will find out what their coverage is. But I really doubt that a company like Reliance, somebody who has sank more than 100 crores, 150 crore rupees into this, is not going to have a very wide coverage.
Also,
at least in the top metro cities, I doubt that coverage will be a problem.
So as you can see right now, there's a comparison that Reliance put out, which is voice calls at 65 paise per minute existing, and
So
Jio
I'm
is
just going to
free.
answer Aditya's question once. Aditya wants to know where he can get a list of cities that get Wi-Fi. So Aditya, I'm assuming you're talking about the personal hotspot here. Jio has said that they will be announcing. Jio has said that they will be installing 1 million Wi-Fi hotspots across India by the middle of next year. So this will take about a year, but more information will come very soon.
Okay, so moving on for some of the prices, if you guys are wondering, so Reliance has also spoken about the live devices which start at 3,000 rupees, more feature-rich live devices which come at 4, 5, and 6,000 rupees, and Jio personal router solutions for 2G, 3G devices at 2,000 rupees. Now, if you're wondering what a personal router is, it is essentially like a small Wi-Fi box in which a SIM card fits. Again, the question arises, it says 2G, 3G devices, so more questions about how they are going to manage 2G, 3G spectrum related things. So that's another point of contention which we will answer as soon as we get some access for it. Again, for those of you that are
But
looking
don't be surprised if the 2G and 3G connections are not good, because this is a 4G first network. They are entirely depending on the fact that you get 4G.
Yeah.
Siddharth, to answer your question, whether you shift or wait is completely your choice. We cannot really pass a judgment on that yet without actually trying and testing the network.
So it also really depends on where you live and how close you are to the tower. So for an example, if you have seen, we have had the Jio box with us for a little while. And in office, the speeds are really, really good for downloads and uploads. But a colleague of mine took it to his house, and over there he was barely getting 8 Mbps upload, and that too after the device was on for quite some time. Personally speaking, in my house, it gave me 20 Mbps download after about 20 minutes of being on, and I tried to watch a couple of movies on Netflix back to back, and the quality dip was much higher than I have seen on my really pathetic Nextra connection. Of course, a wired connection gives you stability in speed even if it is below 10 Mbps.
Not Nextra. Nextra service is absolutely bad.
But the quality dip on the Reliance thing was way higher. So the wireless nature and the weather conditions, of course, everything play a dramatic role. So we will be clearer on real world scenarios once the service kicks in and most of you masses get it. And like giving the example, like data is like this really big cake. The more people that are consuming from that particular stream of data get a smaller
slice.
Dhruv
has an important, useful question. He says, don't you think they should have launched some more plans which are between 149 and 499, because average data usage for a casual user per month is 700 MB?
So for 700 MB, you still get 499. You get 4 GB of data. So it's
that's the thing. So Dhruv, you have to understand here that whether they should have launched is a question that can have any yes or no answer. It depends on which side of the argument you're on. But my guess is that they're launching a 149 plan because you will maybe buy this plan thinking this is cheap, and if this data is not enough for you, you will then buy an extension pack. They will of course have extension packs as well, which they have not talked about yet. So you have to, from a business point of view, it does make sense what they're doing. From maybe the consumer point of view, another pack would have been better.
Yeah. So
what's the night time for unlimited 4G? Puneet, that is yet to be clarified by Jio. We will be clarifying it very soon with Jio. But what currently night time starts at somewhere around 11 p.m. and it ends at somewhere around 6 a.m. So I'm guessing
This
Reliance
is a
will go for the same.
demonstration of
Also, another thing to
Wirecast.
keep in mind is somewhere post 2000, in 2005, when Reliance had their CDMA smartphones come in, is when they would have unlimited Reliance to Reliance calling free, and
Yeah.
some of their plans were really, really good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
unfortunately, they never really stuck around to see the light of day till
Yeah.
today. And it's not even, it's a little over 10 years ago when they started out, but they didn't really last for longer than 5 years. Maybe this is a comeback, and they've spent enough time with their learnings. And so, I mean, even though their
This is
plans
more
sound
of
great, it's still
a
skepticism that
demonstration of
populates the
this is
mind.
Wirecast.
this is actually more of a Mukesh Ambani in fact even mentioned that their network will be as strong as networks in the US, and he specifically said US, though that actually draws what the point of Geo is. They're not trying to make a traditional Indian network which has all edge 2G. It goes to voice customers, everything. They're basically banking on the fact that you will all be shifting to 4G, that all the smartphone usage, all phone usage per
This
se,
is a
will go into
demonstration of
data,
Wirecast.
and that is what they're banking on, and that is how they're building their network. Abhijit, to clarify, when Mukesh Ambani said 50 rupees per GB, he did not mean that 149 rupees pack. He said the more data you use, the less your charges, and you can go up to a point where you're essentially being charged 50 rupees per GB. That, of course, again will remain to be seen how exactly it works. But currently, they're pretty close with the 60 GB pack that costs
This is a
4,000 rupees.
demonstration of
Okay, any
Wirecast.
more questions?
When will it be available for all 4G phones? So Ratish, it's just about whether what we have found is that it's just about whether your phone supports the 4G band that Reliance has. If that supports it, it should ideally work on all phones.
Okay.
Can you give clarity? When like I just clarified, 50 rupees per GB was it was like a figure of speech. What he meant was you can go up to a point where you are effectively being charged
This
50
is a
rupees per GB.
demonstration of
That's the effective
Wirecast.
data rate. It's not the real data rate. When he says 50 rupees per GB, that does not mean you can buy a 1 GB connection for 50 rupees at all. Can Jio get 4G enabled mobile or just no? You can. Abhay, it'll be available for all smartphones. Of course, live phones will have special offers as well. Sorry, but it will be available for all smartphones eventually. If I'm using my Jio SIM on live phone, can I use it on another
This is
phone
a
later?
demonstration of
Aditya, again, like I
Wirecast.
said, if it supports the 4G band that Jio has, it should.
We actually tried inserting
Yeah.
the Geo Wi-Fi box's SIM card into an iPhone, and it worked.
Yeah, so the iPhone did recognize the Geo network, but the LTE did not work on the iPhone SE at that
Okay.
time. What if we want an extra recharge for an extra gig? Good question, Prasanna. That will be answered, I'm guessing, once the network is actually live. They haven't talked about those extra packs, the extension
This is a
packs,
demonstration of
the things that
Wirecast.
Airtel calls my packs or something. No, not my packs. Airtel calls it booster packs. Vodafone calls it booster packs. Things like that, they haven't announced it yet. Okay. So my free plan will last for 3 months, or does it expire when it's officially launched? Aditya. Okay. That again, these things are yet to be clarified. I'm sorry. These things are yet to be clarified by the company.
Yeah. So, wait, what was the question?
This
Sorry, I
is a
spaced out for a second.
demonstration of
No, he's
Wirecast.
just talking about whether his plan is going to continue or not.
Yeah, well, your plans, of course, but right now I'm pretty sure you haven't. They haven't announced the plan. So whatever was announced for you when you picked it up will continue for a duration, and then you will be migrated to one of these. Because if there was something that would need to uh, change, you will of course be informed before it happens. Because, for example, when I had a Vodafone connection, I got a call saying, the plan that you are on is currently inactive, and you will still keep paying for it, but you're
This
paying
is
for
a
something that
demonstration
you
of
could be paying for something
Wirecast.
better. And that's how I got switched to a new plan. So I'm pretty sure whatever plans are currently active will have some changes that will take place based on that. Another thing, what was announced today was the fact that they are going to lay down fiber lines. So what happens when they're going to lay down fiber lines to come to the home? I think they spoke about 20 major cities getting broadband. So broadband is of course an issue in India right now. which when it comes to the average home of where you are staying, so
This
if
is
they're
a
going to talk about 20
demonstration of
cities, it's going to be very
Wirecast.
interesting to see the localities which they target first, because I have lived in a number of locations in Delhi, and Airtel being the most popular one still hasn't had still hasn't has it have had its footing in certain areas. For example, I've lived in Govindpuri, and over there all I could get was Tikona because nobody's laid hard lines over there. When I lived in Nepsarai, I had a local connection that charged me way too much because he knew it was a monopoly there. So a lot of interesting things to see how even the physical broadband is going to shape out. And now that they've announced the plans, they've had this trial
This
period
is a
running for
So
a
a lot
very
of
long
people
demonstration
time.
of
have this question.
Wirecast.
They want to know whether when the data completes, whether their calls will go through. So
Of course,
they of course will.
because it says free voice, unlimited
Yeah, they've
local
said
STD.
free voice and on STD on roaming. They've said it's free, so there's no reason why it shouldn't go through.
But you just have to look at the table that you can see right now. Under where
Yeah.
it says Geo tariffs, it says free voice, unlimited local STD roaming in any network in India. So even after you've consumed your 4G data pack, you will of course get a
This
notification or
is
a
a
message stating that you
demonstration of
have
Wirecast.
completed your data limit, and maybe your data will not work at that point in time, but cellular services
Yeah.
will still continue.
Yeah.
So that is something that you have to keep in mind. Even as you
What
can
I
see.
doubt is whether Jio will actually be throttling or not. Like, you know how Airtel, Vodafone, and all do. When you run out of your 4G data, they throttle the network, throttle the connection to 64 kbps. That I don't think Jio will be doing, since they're a data-first network. When your data ends, I think Jio will want you to
This is a
buy more
demonstration
data
of
instead of just
Wirecast.
throttling and saying, okay, you have 5 days left on your plan to renew. Maybe run on a smaller, lower connection.
Sure. Yeah, like you said, that is something that we will see once the
Yeah.
plans are actually
That
announced and
actually brings us
active.
to Partho's question also. Partho says, what does unlimited night data mean? Is it truly unlimited, or will there be a limit? Again,
Well,
Partho, something that they're yet to clarify, but I would ideally think there would be a limit before which your network will maybe, your data, speed will be throttled.
This is a
Maybe
demonstration of
not, maybe
Wirecast.
not very easily throttled, but Mukesh Ambani did say that Jio's apps can be programmed in such a way that you can schedule all downloads for to happen at night when you're sleeping. So that essentially means that they are going to offer some data limit, some unlimited connection.
I
But
actually think it's going to be completely unlimited, because in the past
maybe
also when
in the
I
beginning, but
had,
I really doubt that they can take that kind of
This
traffic.
is a
of course, I mean,
demonstration of
I think we've
Wirecast.
unanimously understood that putting a cap on data is just a service provider level
No, of course it is. See,
infrastructural
of course it is. But the
thing.
thing is that, so according to the COAI, the Reliance network right now on 1.5 to about 2 to 3 million people generates more than 3 times the data that all others, that regular Indian users have been using on other networks. So I don't know if it makes a lot of business sense to really give
This is a
completely
demonstration of
unlimited data
Wirecast.
for the rest of your life. Maybe in the beginning, yes, for a few months, they will absolutely give you unlimited data, but maybe later they will be throttling.
Yeah, but in the past, if
Yes,
any of
Ishan, we are using free Wirecast. We are actually in the process of testing a few of these services to bring you better lives. You will actually see other services being used as well.
Okay, so again, coming back to the unlimited in the night, I still remember in Pune when we had an Airtel connection that gave you a 1 Mbps or a 2 Mbps connection up to 40 or 50 GB in the day,
This
and
is a
unlimited in the
demonstration of
night. It was in the
Wirecast.
night when from midnight to 6 a.m. and we would put everything we wanted to download, because we actually got unlimited data. You could download as much as possible, but then again, those speeds were still very nascent. So yeah, unlimited was truly unlimited in those days, and I'm talking in the 2009 era. So I hope that doesn't change with this, but then again, it's argument that will be put to rest once we have the plans in action.
Yeah. What is GeoNet hotspot? Sid Kanorias. So GeoNet hotspot is a number of hotspot
This is
networks
a
that
demonstration
a
of
number of hotspot
Wirecast.
connections that Reliance Jio will install across India. Mukesh Ambani said the plan is to install over a million hotspots in India over the next 1 year. So let's see how that works out.
So there are about 30,000 hotspots that are going to be set up across colleges in India. That's the information we just received. So that should answer your question. And also adding hotspots from a network congestion standpoint also seems to be a very interesting decision to make, because
is a
of course a
demonstration of
consumer level
Wirecast.
router is going to only be able to take so many devices, and setting up Reliance's hotspot, which will of course be an industry grade router, so they will have the capacity to handle devices in the hundreds if not thousands to be able to offer decent network, although network congestion is still a problem I foresee. Nonetheless, we will wait for all this, of course, to kick in before we can get you a 100% answer.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
How to MNP my number to Jio? So mobile number portability works just the way it did earlier. I think you can go to a Reliance Digital store or get to a place where you can get a Jio SIM, and this is of course when the network goes live, not right now. Sorry. You mobile number portability will work just the way it has always worked. You can go to one of these guys, tell them you need porting, they'll take all your data, all your personal details that they need, and then they will port the number. No 3G, how will it work? So again, something that Sameer pointed out, that it will be important to
Understand their plans for this.
understand that plan, how exactly it works. We will be understanding it very soon.
Yeah. Also, if any of you guys are subscribing to any of the Geo plans, we would love to hear from you about your experiences, especially the cities you are in and the kind of network speeds and the areas in which you live. It'll help us get a better understanding of how these services are actively working. So while
Abhishek Rajpunwar doesn't understand the list. Okay, Abhishek, don't worry. We have talked about it a lot. You will understand if you watch it later again.
also, if there are any more people, we can just quickly run through it. Okay,
This
so
is a
just
demonstration of
as you can see
Wirecast.
on your screens, probably right now you will see XXS, XS, and S. So these are probably the same sizes. Relate to it like you would to shirt sizes, extra extra small, which is you're going to get 100 MB of 4G data plus unlimited night 4G, and the other services where you see a tick mark, and the Geo hotspot services up to 200 MB valid for 1 day. So that's if you just want to give the Reliance Jio start. Similarly, the 199 offers you X amount of data. Every plan is offering you unlimited
This
4G
is a
at night. Then the
demonstration of
smallest plan is of course
Wirecast.
200 rupee, 300 rupees, sorry, for 21 days, giving you these services. Now we will of course move to the other plans that you should see on your screen right now, which is small, medium, medium, large, extra large, extra large, and triple XL for those of you that want unlimited data. The amount of data you will receive is in yellow where it says 4G data, and free voice call is a part of all of these. So no matter if you are consuming data or not, you can get free voice calls. You have Geo apps worth rupees 1,250 that you can subscribe to. So we're pretty sure there are going to be some apps that Geo is going to give you, which will give you certain kinds of services. What they are is something we are also waiting to see. Unlimited SMS, both local and national, for M to triple XL, whereas S, the small plan, gets about 100. Wi-Fi, which are these Geo hotspots that Reliance is going to set up, which is in addition to the 4G data that you are receiving above. You can see it ranges from 8 GB to 150 GB from M to triple XL. Versus, and the validity pack for all these is 1 month. Now, just a question that I have to clarify is this is prepaid
This
or
is a
postpaid?
demonstration
No,
of
these are all
Wirecast.
postpaid.
These are all postpaid plans. So yes, so as you can see, these are all postpaid plans, and I hope that gave you guys an understanding of what these plans are and how they seem to work.
Yeah. So, no, you just to take some quick regular questions. You do not necessarily have to buy a live phone to get the Geo connection. Once the network is live, not live.
Live.
Once the network is live, it makes no sense for them to say that you need to buy only a Geo phone. You can
This
get
is
it
a
on
demonstration
any
of
smartphone
Wirecast.
that supports their bands. Nitesh, I really don't find this costly. It's actually much cheaper than regular data rates that you have today. So we at least don't think that they're costly. Okay, what will Geo commercial launch? It will happen very soon. Thanks for the clear answer. You're very welcome, Partho.
Yo, Partho.
Yes, 0.3 GB does mean 300 MB, Shubham. Can GeoSIM be used in an iPhone? So during the preview offer, we at least tried a GeoSIM yesterday on an iPhone SE. The data network did not work, but once it's live, of course it will work on an iPhone. Can a GSM customer from RIM shift? Oh, have MNP port to Geo? Can they?
I don't know. We'll actually have to look
Yeah,
into
that's
it
actually
and
something
get
that we'll
back.
also have to check.
But if you're a Reliance customer, I'm pretty sure they will have some schemes for you to transition from.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
there will be. Again,
so
it's a good question
ideally,
though.
Reliance, had told all their employees, 40,000 plus employees, to shift to a Geo connection, and I'm guessing at least one of those 40,000 was a RIM
I'm pretty
subscriber.
sure a lot of them
Yeah.
are RIM subscribers.
Yeah, so we are hoping it works, but we'll find out more. We'll take all these questions to Geo and get back to you again.
Also, if you guys we have a couple of stories live about the Reliance announcements today on Digit. And you can log on to the website and check that out. A lot of these slides that we are showing you here on the live is something that is also a part of that in case you need to go through some of the other announcements. You can, of course, comment on the stories you will see published on Facebook. You can comment on the articles themselves. You can write into us and we will do our best to answer all your queries. But since this is a Facebook Live, we are doing our best. We're very sorry for all the comments we might have missed. You can keep reposting them if you have questions, and we will do our best to answer.
Yeah. Yes,
those.
Shubham, the sims that you got for preview should work. There is no reason why they should not work because, they are, fully functioning Geo sims. Nitesh, like I said, GeoNet hotspots are a bunch of connections, hotspot Wi-Fi connections, so that Reliance Jio will be, installing across the country. They've said 1 million connections by next year. They've said 30,000 connections in colleges and educational institutions are available right now. So they're just like you get, it's like if you probably read about Google and Railtel's Wi-Fi in this thing in railway stations. The idea is exactly the same. Timing for unlimited 4G at night. Again, Abhishek, something that they're yet to announce.
We could have like a little game on this. I think it's going to be the 11 or midnight till 6 a.m. What do you think, Prasid?
11?
11 or midnight, 11 p.m. or 12 a.m.
Yeah.
up till 6 a.m. That's going to be
Yeah, I
night
actually
for them.
I thought it would be 10:30 to 6 a.m. But
Yeah.
hey, half an hour.
So bet between Prasid and I. The minute we find out, we will let you know who wins. I think it's
Yes.
midnight. I'm going to call it midnight to be more like a sealed date.
Actually, midnight makes more sense.
You
I
can't
think.
back out now. This is a bet. The friendly bet. No
Yeah,
stakes.
no, I'm still going for 10:30.
Okay.
But midnight does make sense.
Yeah.
It seems all Geo had to, add to this that would have probably made this even better is say that, torrent downloads are free. They haven't said that.
We do
just
not
saying
advocate
that
torrents.
we do not advocate torrents. But if they said that, because it seems like that's the customer that Geo is going
But
for.
torrents are blocked now, so I mean, there's a whole block and ban.
demonstration
Yeah,
of
there are ways to
well,
access
there are
it. We're
many
talking
ways
about
to
the
access it.
layman,
Yeah.
which also reminds me.
Okay, Shubham says it's 11 to 6 a.m. Shubham probably knows from somewhere. Any extra charges and taxes with the amount shown there? Good question, Rudranil. I'm sure there will be taxes over this. Postpaid plans should have taxes over this. Again, something that we'll have to clarify. It's not working on Redmi 2 Prime. It's not working on a lot of phones right now, Ashik. But once it is live, you have to ensure that whatever phone you're using supports the Geo connection. That is the Geo band, 2300 megahertz band, and then take the connection. How GeoNet hotspot would work for the Geo customers? I mean, would data that we would consume count against the limit? No. So Sarthak, the data that you get on the GeoNet hotspot is going to be over and above your regular 4G data. It's like you will go to a point where there is, at some location, say a shopping mall where you will find a GeoNet hotspot. You will connect to Wi-Fi and you will then be most likely you will be told to log in using your Geo number. There's a good chance they'll just recognize the SIM automatically. If not, they can always tell you to log in using a Geo number. And once you log in using a Geo number, you can then use the connection for XYZ data, whichever is applicable to your plan. And maybe after that ends, they will definitely tell you to buy more data if you still want to use it.
Okay, so just quickly to run through some of the claims that Mukesh Ambani has made during the Reliance Jio network announcement, and I'm quoting him right here. It's India's digital mother tongue will be IP, Jio's IP. A couple of really dramatically strong statements there. One more is the all IP design makes Jio's network the most future-proof network in the world. Jio is a data strong network built for 18,000 cities, 2 lakh villages right now. 90% of India's population will be covered by Jio.
This
Jio
is a
only networks in the
demonstration of
country that is
Wirecast.
only 4G LTE, no 2G or 3G. Largest only 4G network in the world today. We have also implemented 100% VoLTE networks. Geo has the bandwidth to support augmented reality and virtual reality, which is, of course, something we would like to put to the test once we get it. Transform India from a high price data market to one with the lowest data rates anywhere in the world. Another thing that we have been discussing for some time now. More than 70% of all smartphones sold are 4G LTE. They are
This is a
4G LTE. Yes,
demonstration
that
of
is also
Wirecast.
true. Something that we will be looking forward to. Reliance Jio launched the most affordable 4G LTE live smartphone starting at rupees 2,999 4G LTE personal routers, which is also something that we have shown you guys. All active Jio customers will get free app ecosystem access till December 2017. So you have more than a year to get into that free app ecosystem.
Okay, we have a quick clarification again. A lot of people are asking whether these are postpaid or prepaid plans.
This
Yes,
is
the
a
validity is
demonstration of
28 days.
Wirecast.
So to understand how a GeoSIM will work, once you put the GeoSIM in your phone, once it has been recognized, approved, and you're
Activated.
activated, so you will now get free voice calling for the rest of your life, which means that just like a postpaid connection, your SIM will keep working automatically on voice, but the data connections are going to be activated through these packs. So since you're not paying for voice or
This is a
texts at
demonstration
all,
of
they work
Wirecast.
something like a postpaid plan only. The idea is that, so Mukesh Ambani said that there are 22 more than a 2200 different packs available in India today, which makes it quite confusing. So RGO is just going to have these 10 packs that are going to be offered, and these 10 packs are going to work just like a postpaid connection. So just like in a postpaid connection, you pay your regular bill, you will use just like a prepaid connection ideally. But it means that when
This
you
is a
don't have data, you will
demonstration of
just not use
Wirecast.
data, and you will end up using only voice, which is going to be free. I hope that clarifies some of your answers. Enlighten me about VoLTE. We know. So, Rudnil, don't confuse VoLTE with LTE. LTE is your 4G network. That's the LTE network that you use. VoLTE means voice over LTE. So, it's basically
This
making
is
a
a
call
demonstration
over
of
the LTE network.
Wirecast.
It is clearer than other VoIP connections. It is theoretically clearer than VoIP connections, and that is what VoLTE offers. It's clearer, faster, and better.
Also, I have actually a bit of a small joke to crack right now so we can lighten the mood of this very serious Reliance discussion. Is if any of you have seen the movie starring Colin Farrell, Kingsman, you guys can let us know in the comment section below if you have seen it, because Samuel L. Jackson, who plays the villain in the film, gives out free SIM cards to the entire world, free
This is a
unlimited data,
demonstration of
and he has a
Wirecast.
very evil motive in that film, which I do not want to spoil. But we have a news writer here whose name is Shrey Paul Carlos Pacheco. He's one man, not four. And he drew this relationship first. So,
Partho, we are not going to answer that question right now because we can't. Partho wants to know whether they'll give access to VPN.
Partho, what do you plan to do with VPNs? Partho, dear boy, Partho, don't be a bad boy with VPNs. We are the only people allowed to be bad with VPNs. I was very
This is a
naughty with the VPN last
demonstration of
night, if you know what I
Wirecast.
mean. But we'll tell you that once we actually get access to it.
Yeah. So, but they should. There is no reason why they should block every VPN. Are all websites accessible through this? No, no, no. It's completely accessible. Everything will be accessible. This is not like Facebook's. What did Facebook? Wow, it was so long ago.
Long
Free
ago.
Basics.
Free
This is
basics.
not like Free Basics at all.
Also, we would like to tell you guys that there are a lot of local internet providers in your city who are going against the entire concept of net neutrality. I do not want to take the name
This
right
is
now
a
because I don't want them to
demonstration
fall
of
under any problems.
Wirecast.
But there are certain internet service providers who tell you, आप YouTube देखोगे तो आपको इतनी ज़्यादा speed मिल जाएगी, X ज़्यादा 2 MB का 4 MB हो जाएगा. So yeah, you might want to really consider your options before jumping into something like this based on your use case scenarios and requirements.
Tanmoy, it's just check if the Lenovo A6000 Plus will support the 2300 megahertz band. If it will, the GeoSIM will work when it's live. Uh, Aditya was thinking the same about the Kingsman.
Oh, so Shrey was not alone. Thank the Lord. And then Shrey's put all this in our minds. Now we're really contemplating whether we should go in for a GeoSIM or not.
Yeah. The preview offer is available on GeoFi, right?
Yeah.
That's the one we use.
Yes.
So,
It is.
yeah,
it is.
it is
the,
available.
The
on
only
GeoFi.
advantage of getting anything pre-plan announcement is that you had unlimited free data for 3 months. Now, a question that remains to be answered, which we will check and get back to you on, is whether our device will still get its free data for 3 months, because 3 months are technically not over for the device since it's been purchased.
Shubham is waiting for our Geo MiFi video.
We have a Facebook Live.
You have a Facebook Live. Yeah, just go
we
back
have a Facebook
to the
Live. But if there's something specific you want to see, because what we are planning to do is once we get 3 of the same devices in our test center, we are going to go around town and do a little video on the speed test across the city. We are just waiting to get the same device because, as most of you pointed out in our live, we had 3 different devices. So yeah, we are going to put a Vodafone Airtel SIM card in one and take the Jio with us in the other. That should come up very soon. We're a little bottlenecked as far as our videos are concerned. Stay
and for
tuned.
those of you asking whether the so-called offers are going to be available after you've ported your connection or after your this current preview offer is over, understand that these are not offers. These are the packs that Jio will be providing. So they're not offers. They're going to be available to any Jio customer.
Awesome. I'm exhausted. It's been 41 minutes that we've been speaking.
And we have taken pretty much every question. Now, I don't think there's anything new that we can tell them. So if you have more questions, you can of course get back to us through the various channels, and we'll tell you what all channels.
We have everything on Facebook. You can drop us a message. You can write to us at editor@digit.in. You can check out our videos on YouTube. Leave a comment there. Leave a comment in our stories. We're on Snapchat. We're on Instagram. We're everywhere since the birth of sliced bread. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this live session. We are really, really happy. We got some really, really good response with the data giri. And while we're signing off, here are just a couple of other announcements that were made, which we probably didn't show you all the slides that we had made for Reliance, but here's just quickly going through a couple more of them. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Stay tuned for more live sessions like this one. We will catch you in another live session, but for now, it's goodbye.